Isagenix full-time, and it's easy to see why with her grace and her success. So please help me welcome back to the stage Miss Karla Italiano.
Exceptional hosts of this amazing event. Give them another round of applause. So appreciate that. Are you feeling more empowered to talk with people about your business? Yes? Who's been practicing their story already? Excellent. Well, we're going to take it to the next level, because in order to share your story, you first need something to say, right? And then would it be helpful to have something to share to introduce Isagenix? Would it be nice to have a pathway to know what to say, what to share, and what to do? Isn't it awesome the company provides this for us? Yes, so this morning I'm excited. I get to cover what to say and share, and then Emily Vavra is coming out next to cover what to do. Yes. So yesterday we talked about this a little bit, right? We have a lot of experience in talking with people, and telling our story sure can make it easier, but does anyone just start to feel kind of weird when you try to talk with somebody about Isagenix? Yeah, thank you. And all the leaders keep saying, just don't make it weird, don't make it weird. You're like, I don't want to make it weird, but I feel weird. I don't know how to stop, right? Like it's kind of fascinating actually that in normal everyday life, we can just be regular human beings, but for some reason, when it comes to sharing Isagenix, we start chasing people. Right, like Laura was sharing, chasing the family into the hotel room, no, right? Or we interrupt a conversation to insert Isagenix, or no problem, just take a shake a day, it's gonna solve all your problems. You're gonna make lots of money no matter what. No, those are not only awkward, they're also not compliant, right? Or offering a solution without really clarifying their needs, or if they even have a need for you to share with them. Talking too much. This isn't something we ever do, is it? We get so excited. Or what about the opposite? Getting so scared of saying the wrong thing that we don't say anything at all? That feels kind of weird. And we surely don't copy and paste the same message to all of our friends, do we? No, in reality, sharing our story can feel weird, but there's a way to overcome that. I'm excited today to share with you tools that you can use to help not make it feel weird, give you the mindset and the skill set to instead share with elegance, ease, and posture. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Both in person and in messaging. Okay, let me ask you something different. Does anyone here happen to play a musical instrument? Fun, right? I play the clarinet, and it's something I really enjoy. I played it all through college and occasionally still play it and perform in church services. It's something I really enjoy, but I remember when I was first learning, I made a lot of honks, a lot of squeaks. It was really painful, like literally painful to the cheeks and then painful to the ears as well. But because I was willing to continue to make mistakes and a few more honks and squeaks, I got better, and now it's something I actually enjoy. So this can be the same journey that you experience as well. If right now talking about Isagenix is something that scares you or that feels weird, it can become something that you not only become good at, but you actually enjoy, right? So let's start out by talking about why it might feel weird right now to talk about Isagenix. What I found is usually we have a high level of attachment and a low level of belief. Right? We really, really, really want this person to be interested. But deep down, we don't really believe they will. Or we're just desperate for our next enrollment. But we don't want to bother people. Or I just want this to work for me. But I don't want to sell. Right? It's this contradiction we've created inside of ourselves that makes it feel weird, right? But the good thing is that you can shift this We can shift this by lowering our attachment and raising our level of belief, our belief in ourselves and our belief in what we have to offer. And it's when we do this that sharing Isagenix starts to feel more elegant and more natural. You know, something that people tell me occasionally, and I receive it as a compliment and I love it, but I must share it actually annoys me a little bit as well. And that's when people say things like, oh, Karla, you're such a natural at this. No wonder you're successful. And I receive that as a compliment, right? Because I know if what they perceive as me being natural at this, that I've worked on it and I've come a long way. I would propose that it's not because I'm a natural that I've found success, but rather because I've committed to my success that it has become more natural.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me give an example of how natural I am at this, okay? You remember that story I touched on yesterday about the guy who stood up and walked away from me? Okay, so that was following my very first IsaU. For how many of you, again, is this your first IsaU? Excellent. For me, I believe that was Kansas City 2013. Anyone else happen to be there? A few, I think, yes. So it was at that event. I've been building for about 3 months. And my start had been so slow. It felt that way. I'd enrolled a few friends, had no consultants yet. I remember at that event, Travis Garza stood up on stage and he asked the millionaires in front, what do you say in response to the question, what do you do? Right? And Lynn Hagedorn and Michael Klaus were there, and they answered, right? I help people get fit, feel fabulous, and become financially free. Right? Anyone on their team, that's the phrase, right? Yes? Awesome. It was brilliant. Like, I love that. And I loved it instantly there too. So I thought, I'm going to use that as soon as I can. So I was waiting in the airport to board my plane to go home, right? And I got up the courage to talk to the gentleman sitting next to me. And I said, what do you do? And he replied, and he asked me back, what do you do? And I said, I help people get fit, feel fabulous, and become financially free. Yes. I don't remember exactly how I said it, but I remember that's how it felt, and apparently it felt pretty awkward for him as well, because he looked at me confused and he walked away. And I thought at first he was going to the bathroom, but no, he just sat down in another chair. Yeah. I told this story on the President's Quest to Travis Ogden. He said, someday you're going to tell that story on stage. Thank you for that. And now fast forward to our most recent event just a few months ago, New Year kickoff, right? So I was traveling to this event on a flight out of Savannah, Georgia, where I live, and I was seated next to a woman named Christina. And not only did she not walk away from me, not that you really have a choice on a full flight, but she considers it a divine appointment that we were seated next to each other. We connected on that flight, and she joined my team just a few weeks later. So, thank you. So, what changed between the two? What changed between the guy who ran away from me to the woman who considers it a blessing to have the seat next to me? Well, yes, attachment down and belief up, exactly. Over those 5 years of experience, I've grown a new mindset and a new skill set around sharing Isagenix, which I'd love to share with you, right? First of all, the mindset of sharing with ease and elegance. First of all, don't be attached to the outcome. Consider, for example, a waitress in a diner who's serving coffee. Let's say that a customer turns down the offer for coffee. Is she gonna get mad and depressed and stop serving the coffee? Not likely. Why? Well, because her job is to offer the coffee and then provide it to those who say yes, right? You can trust that your success is gonna come from your grit and your perseverance and your growth over time, not from that single individual yes or no of the person right in front of you. Don't be attached. Secondly, their response is their responsibility, not yours. Just like the guy who ran away from me, right? That was him. But, consider again our waitress friend in the diner. Let's say that she offers coffee to a gentleman sitting at the table, and he gets mad and offended. How dare you offer me this coffee, right? Does that say more about her or about the customer? Yes, most likely the customer. He must be having a bad day. We can consider this the same thing whenever we don't receive responses at all, or the rare occasion when it might be not quite a kind response from somebody else. Next, let go of the story about an event that hasn't happened yet. Who has a chicken list? Those people that you want to ask but you're scared to. Thank you. Why is it a chicken list? Because you've created a story in your head about a response that you think they're going to make, and it hasn't even happened yet, but you're sitting in that feeling of that emotion of rejection that's keeping you from doing your job in the present of offering Isagenix, right? Offer the coffee. Let's say our waitress friend in the diner sees a group of women come in, they're in their workout clothes, and they apparently just came from a workout, and she starts to think, oh my goodness, they must feel so hot and sweaty already. They're definitely not going to want any hot coffee, so I'm not even going to ask them if they want any. It seems kind of silly, right? But that's the same thing that we do for people all the time. We rob them of the choice because of a story we've written in our head about their response, right? Who's that person on your chicken list? Go ahead and write their name down. Type it in your phone, write it in a margin. Go ahead, write it down. Write down that name, that person who's on your chicken list. We are going to come back to it, okay? Awesome. Next, do take responsibility for the things that you can control. There are things that we can do to increase the probability of a yes, right? Growing our skills, our posture, and our timing, right? A skilled waitress, for example, might have learned how to best communicate the value of the coffee, which can turn into more yeses. Just like with us, we don't have to prove that Isagenix works, right? We just learn better to communicate the amazing value that already exists. So our skills can increase the probability of a yes. Also, our posture, right? A waitress who's experienced might have grown the belief and the confidence that when a customer says no, perhaps even just from her enthusiasm, they might reconsider their no. The same can be for us. And also timing. If her customers change their mind and they want coffee later, she's going to be back to provide it for them. The same for us. We can't control their timing, but we can control ours. Remember yesterday I shared with you that I reached out to my first list of 30 people and all of them ignored me or said no except for one? You go back to that list today, half of them are in my organization, one of whom is an executive.
Yeah.
Stay in the game. All right, you feeling good about this new mindset around sharing? Thank you. All right, how about the new skill set? What is a new skill set that goes along with this mindset of sharing with ease and elegance? First of all, ask more than you tell. Our tendency is to tell it all, right? All the features and benefits, all of our story. We just get it out there, and then we're surprised when they're not interested at all. Right? We feel like if we can just get all the information in our heads into their heads, then they'll get it. And we can avoid the no's, we can avoid the objections, and just go straight to the yes. The problem with that is we don't know if they're open to even receive what we're saying to them. So the antidote to saying too much up front is to simply ask questions. I remember especially early on when I was learning to talk with people, I had a mantra that I kept in my head all the time. Maybe it'll help you as well. When in doubt, ask a question. When in doubt, ask a question. When in doubt of what to say, don't think about how to bring up Isagenix or what are they going to do, what should I say? When in doubt, ask a question, any question. I'll give you a few specific examples in a couple slides, but it can be anything. When in doubt, ask a question, right? Secondly, include your story. Just like we talked about yesterday, this is how you connect and relate to people. It'll help relieve some of the pressure of feeling like you have to say the right thing or the perfect thing. Use the tools. As soon as the conversation does turn to Isagenix, revert to a tool, send them a video, invite them to a podcast, right? Use the tools. In the initial conversation, your goal is to create just enough curiosity so that you can follow up with them. Attract on social media. Laura gave some exceptional training yesterday on social media, didn't she?
Yes.
Yes. And this is part of sharing with ease and elegance with your list or with people that you're meeting in person because it offers a reference point, like a storefront, just like she was saying. And it also does relieve some of that pressure of feeling like you have to force bringing up Isagenix right away in the conversation. It was a couple years ago. I was on an airplane flying back home from Aruba, where I was treating some of our top earners to a girls' getaway. Some of the winners are here. And it was on the flight home. I was seated next to a man and his wife. And I asked them lots of questions, and we engaged in conversation. I learned about their family and jobs and a lot of information, and in return I shared some information, but there never seemed to be any reciprocal interest. However, before we got off the plane, I simply asked them, are you on Facebook? I'd love to stay connected. Not on Facebook, okay? Are you on LinkedIn? Yes, where I had already been active. So we connected on LinkedIn, and a few weeks later, he messaged me, asked me to get in touch with his wife about all these before and after pictures I'd been posting, and she did get started on the products. This makes your posture so more elegant. Okay, and grow your belief. A lot of your belief is going to grow just from taking the action. You must take action regularly, all the time, even before you feel like it. This is going to help increase your belief. Also, your belief can grow from intentional work. Ever since my very first event, something I've done every day, I encourage you to do the same, is I would watch something or listen to something or read something that would help grow my belief in one of the main areas, in product, business, myself, network marketing. Doing this every day over time is going to grow your belief. And attending events. It's the best way to grow your belief, right? I'm so proud of you for being here. Do you feel it already? Yes. You are years ahead of the game just for being in this room. Realize, however, this is not one and done. I encourage you to stay plugged into events. Every 60 to 90 days, I've attended each of the core 4 events at least once every year since beginning to build this business. And consistency. Oh, this is everything. Take consistent action even with inconsistent results. Right? Everyone hits seasons in their business where it feels like nothing is happening. The people making the money are the ones taking consistent action anyway. And the way that this makes your approach more elegant is that it keeps people coming into your business on a regular basis. You're not chasing people for the double PIB, for the crystal reset, for the promotion week. You have a steady stream of people coming in. Just pick a number and commit to it every day, even if it's one. If reaching out to one person a day is more than you're doing now, what if you simply did that? That would be powerful. Who could commit to reaching out to one new person a day to share Isagenix? Awesome. Or maybe it's 3 a day, or maybe it's 5 a day, maybe it's 20 a day. Whatever your number is, stick to it. My sweet spot has been 3 a day, 7 days a week. Okay. Awesome. All right, we have a new skill set and a new mindset around sharing Isagenix with ease and elegance. We're feeling good about this so far?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Now let's get into the really juicy stuff. Specifically, what to say and share. First in person, and then we'll cover in messaging as well, okay? What to say in person. Remember my mantra, when in doubt, ask a question. When in doubt, ask a question. And it can really be any question. These are just a few of my favorites. But the objectives of asking questions are twofold. First of all, you're looking for common ground. You want to connect on something you have in common. And second of all, you want to take mental notes of any potential needs in their life that you can offer a solution for. And this will work for somebody that you already know or somebody that you're meeting for the first time. So for example, how long have you worked here? Or what do you do for a living? How long have you done that? What do you like? What would you change? Take mental notes about things that they perhaps don't like that you could offer. What would you be doing if you didn't have to be at work? Right? That gives you an idea of what their ideal life would be. What are your hobbies? Within hobbies, what sports do you play? Usually you hear a response something like, well, I used to play soccer. I used to run, but now my energy, my knees, my weight, my age, right? You have a solution for that? Take a mental note. You can bring that up later. How old are your kids? If you have kids, this is a great way to connect. Oh, I have kids. How many? How old are they? Boys or girls? And connect that way. Are you originally from here? No? Where's your family? How long has it been since you've seen them? Would you like to see them more often? See where this is going? Okay, where have you traveled? Where would you travel if you could? How is your nutrition? This one I learned from Del Rey. It actually fits better on the next slide, which I'll share in a moment. She did an awesome Zoom call for our team. And what do you use for nutritional support? It's a great one in the gym when you're working out. So you're asking these questions and more, really anything, right? With the goal of connecting and finding possible needs that you can fill. Now, would it be helpful to hear how you can transition into Isagenix and your story? Yes, okay. Here's some of my favorites. That sounds hard. I think I can help you with that. Shout out to Laura St. John. I got that from her, right? That sounds hard. You have to prep your food 2 hours a day and count your calories. That sounds hard. I think I can help you with that, right? Transition to your story. You might like doing what I do. This is one of my favorites. That's how I shared with Christina on the plane in that example I shared with you. I used it just a few days ago in the post office. You might like doing what I do. Well, what do you do? Story. I used to be an engineer, but I was frustrated. Yes? You'd be great at doing what I do. Do you know what residual income is? Do you make money from your Facebook account? Which assumes that you are or you're in the process of doing that. If that is something that interests them, they'll be asking you. Have you heard of intermittent fasting? Have you heard of telomeres? Share your product story. If you could improve 1 or 2 things about your health, what would that be? Dave MacArthur's question. I know he's in there. Magic question. Love that one. What if I could show you a way to see your family more often? To travel more? Do you keep your options open to additional streams of income? So any of these ways are great transitions in the conversation to bring up your story and Isagenix in an elegant way. Do you see that? Now, you've asked them questions to connect and find solutions. You've offered your story, told your story, now what? Oh, if they're interested, they'll ask me. Maybe. But you're the professional, right? So ask. Does this sound like something that you'd be interested in learning more about? Just ask. They might say no, it's okay. But what if they say yes? You might not know unless you ask. They say yes, great. Would you? If I send you a video, would you watch it? If I invite you to a webinar, would you attend it? If I save a seat for you at my in-home party, would you attend? Yes, great. You're meeting a person, then you gotta connect. Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? What's your text? What's your number, right? So swap information. $1 million tip from Lindsay Hofber, take a screenshot after you connect. She started from stage, I still do it. That way you remember who to message and send the tool, right? Now, you've swapped information. You know that you're gonna connect with them later. Now what? In the conversation, change the subject. Be in a hurry, get off of it. Your temptation right here is gonna be to continue to talk because you're excited, right? They're interested, but you'll talk yourself out of it. Trust the tools and the process, and then later on, share something. It can be isamovie.com or your version of it, your website. The corporate opportunity calls that happen on Wednesday night, they're now recorded in the back office. Your product Facebook group, if you have one in your team, or your Ideal Life presentation or another in-home event. You know, something I find that stresses people out is like, which video do I send? Anything. There's no magic video, right? Send something that you feel connects with them and their goals the best. And send something that excites you. The goal is to introduce them to Isagenix and continue the conversation. So send something that excites you, all right? Who's excited to start sharing Isagenix in person? Yes, awesome. Now, what about in message? We do a lot of text messaging, don't we? Yes. Well, before we talk about what we're actually going to message, who are we going to send messages to? Well, that would be our list. Who do you know? I remember attending my very first event, and Hillary Courtney shared that your list is worth $1 million. So I took her seriously. I made my list to 100 people, and I've kept it going ever since. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, I don't know 100 people. You do. I promise you. I know how you feel, right? Because each time I've needed a boost in my business or I've committed to a 90-day game plan, my first step is to make a brand new list of 100 people. And I sit there and think, are there even 100 people left on the planet who I haven't talked to yet? But amazing things happen when you decide. The people who earn the money in this company are the ones who decide to, not the ones who are trying it out. And amazing things happen when you decide to make the list to 100. You'll be amazed at who comes to mind and how creative you get. you'll start pulling out email lists and business cards and Christmas card lists and yearbooks. If you decide to make your list to 100, you will. I promise. Let's get a little start on it. Would that be okay with you? Pull out your books or a piece of paper. Have a pen. In addition to that chicken list person that you've already written down, we're going to spend a few minutes and brainstorm who do you know. If you'd like, page 28 and 9 are blank in your books. They're spaces for this purpose, okay? So I'm going to give you a few minutes, see how many names, new names, that you can write down that you're going to share Isagenix with. Ready? Go. Keep going. Don't prejudge. Just write the names down. You know the people, this is your $1 million list. Going. Use the brainstorm list on page 27 if you need to. We'll go about 20 more seconds. All right, great job. Did you get a good start on your list? Who has at least 10 names? Great. Who has 25 or more? Awesome. 50 or more? Love it. Anyone get 75? Oh, we still have hands in the air. Who got to 100? Anyone? Oh, yes. We got one. Yay. Good job. You guys, that was like 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes to create something worth $1 million when you follow up on it. Is that powerful? Yeah. Proud of you. However many you have, just keep it growing. Now, what do you say? If you're going to message this list specifically, what would you say? What I'd like to do is share with you an example of something that I sent recently to quite a number of people. I customized one sentence in it, which I'll point out to you, and I'm curious what you think. Was the overall response that this message was ignored? That I got a positive response or a negative response? Okay, here it is. Say, hi, person, I use their name. I hope you're having a great week. Thank you for liking my recent post about my business journey. I'm actually looking for 3 to 4 motivated people that value their health and want to make some extra money that can long-term free up more time in their life. It seems like you already are in this space through your health coaching and blog, correct? That was a customized sentence for each one. Does this sound like something you'd be open to learning about and potentially collaborate on? Thanks. Have a great afternoon. Who thinks that this message was ignored? Good, okay. Who thinks the response was positive? Good. Who thinks their response was negative? Great, thank you. So we have responses for all three, and you're all correct. Now, this specific exact message was actually a great response. He was very interested, it ended up in a phone call, and he even used the words, "I like your approach." Is that not encouragement to a network marketer? He said, "I like your approach." That's awesome. But in the same time frame that I sent this message, I sent many more, the very same, customized, that were completely ignored. I also sent one to a friend. She did not respond to me directly, but I noticed on her social media page later that day that she made a post bashing direct sellers. How awful she felt receiving all these messages, asking her to sell stuff or trying to sell her things. And although it wasn't directed at me, I could tell it was in response to my message. I bring this up to again emphasize that their response is about them. The same mindset, same skill set, different response means it's more about them. Now that didn't feel good, but what if I really let it get to me and I completely stopped? Well, I would have missed out on this positive experience, which happened a couple days later. So often we give our power away to people who are negative or who we expect to be negative, and we stop working with that expectation, but stop giving the power away. It's your business, it's your legacy. Keep taking action, you'll find the positive responses. Yes. So now, what to say? So you'll see already that I've learned from a lot of different leaders, and absolutely whenever you hear phrasing used by a mentor or leader that resonates with you, take it and use it. In fact, there's one phrase in this message that I learned from the amazing Kathy Cooper herself. Some of you might recognize it, right? It's, "I'm looking for 3 to 4 motivated people that value their health and want to make some extra money," right? So definitely use things, but rather than just give you a bunch of examples that you could take and use and implement, I did something else I'm really excited to share with you. I actually went back and I studied a lot of the messages I'd sent over the years, and I realized I developed a pattern to sharing, a formula almost, to my messages that helped to increase my posture and my response rate. Would you like to know my formula? Okay, great. Here it is. Rapport, reason, compliment, question. Okay, without even realizing it until I went back and studied, most of my messages include 3 to 4 of these parts. So rapport is simply how it's personal to them. It could be as simple as using their name, or referencing how you met, or a recent post that you saw. Reason is the reason why you're writing them. Whenever you receive a message or a call from somebody, isn't your brain immediately going to, why are they sending this? You're looking for the reason. So give that to your audience. I'm writing to share something with you, right? Even if it's been a long time, rapport might look like, "Oh gosh, it's been years since we met. I can't wait to catch up on our family sometime, but right now the reason I'm writing to you is because I have something I'm excited about and I want to share with you." Okay? Compliment. This is why you feel they are qualified to receive your message. This is why you feel they're qualified to be a part of this, right? I thought of you because you're so health conscious. I thought of you because you're such a great leader. I thought of you because you've helped me so much. I wanted to offer something that could possibly help you. And question. Always, always, always end with a question. Right? Our tendency is to ask the question first and then explain it, but then we leave them hanging, right? Like, "Would you be open to check out some nutrition with me? I lost 10 pounds, it's cleanse days and shake days, it's amazing." They might respond, but I mean, you ask my team, and we've noticed this, you either move the question to the end or just add a question mark at the bottom, it'll increase your response rate. Okay? Yes. Thank you. Would you like to see some examples?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, here's one. It said, "Hi friend, I used her name. I hope you're having a great week. It was so great to meet you." I referenced how we met. This is all part of rapport. Reason, this will look familiar. I'm looking for 3 to 4 motivated people who value their health and want to earn some extra money. In this case, I actually skipped the third one for no conscious reason. It's just not there. But I did end with a question. Does anyone you know come to mind? Right? 3 of the 4. What's fascinating about her response, you'll notice I approached it with the business, which I typically do, and then I took a referral approach. Who do you know? Her reply, I'd like to lose 10 pounds before the summer. She made it personal, she made it product, she landed where she wanted to, you just opened the conversation. Okay, here's another one. Rapport, hi, friend, I used her name. So glad you've had a great transition so far. She was in the middle of a move. And I knew that, right? That's the rapport. Reason, I was thinking of you and I wanted to share something. Right? You've probably seen some of what I've been up to on Facebook. Would you be open to hearing more about it? I want to point out this question because it's in the middle of the paragraph, but I don't expect her to answer this question. I'm using a question in this case to emphasize the reason. I'm going to still put a question at the end, okay? Compliment, you scan down a little bit. I think the energy and community support would really resonate with you. You've always been so strong and spiritually in tune. And with a question, would you be open to learn more? So she did get started. She and her husband have been amazing customers for a long time. They go in and out of consultant status, but one thing that's really fascinating about her initial response, she said, Karla, I'm so glad you wrote. I had a dream about you a while back, and I've been meaning to message you. She was dreaming about me. Get this? But it required me taking the initiative to reach out to her to hear about it. You might have team members dreaming about you. But you're not going to know about it until you message them, so just ask, right? Awesome. Here's another one. Rapport. Hi, friend. Use our name. How are you? It's been forever. I'm coming to Dallas for a trip in the new year. Right? That makes it personal. Rapport. Reason. I wanted to reach out to you and share something. Right? You've probably seen what I've been up to on Facebook. This middle section is Law of Kayla Craft. I learned that from her. And then skip down to the bottom, you get the compliment. You've always been a natural connector and leader. And with the question, if I sent you some information on the opportunity, would you be willing to take a look? Rapport, reason, compliment, question. Do you see it? Okay, one more. Hi, friend, I use her name. I hope you're doing well. I'd also noticed she recently changed careers, so I referenced that. That's all part of rapport, right? The reason I was thinking of you is because I thought you might enjoy an opportunity I'm with, okay? Compliment. When we met, which was on a plane, by the way, you struck me as someone who's driven and who values being able to make your own choices, right? This company focused on contribution. And with the question, you see, would you be open to check it out? Now, really look at how I ended that, because any of those last two sentences, I could have ended it before it. You don't need to say yes or no, but with your permission, I'd love to send a quick link for your review. I also learned that from a network marketing general experience, but I always end with a question, right? You could end it with that sentence and it would still be powerful and they might respond, but what's my personal rule? Always end with a question. Okay, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Does this help? You're not copy and pasting, you're just plugging in your words to this formula. All right, remember that chicken list person that you wrote down? Pull out that name, I want you to spend a few minutes, write them a message using rapport, reason, compliment, question. Ready? Go. Great job. Really make it personal to them. Rapport, reason, compliment, question. Great job, you guys. Okay, 30 seconds left. Polish it up. Send it. Ooh, I got goosebumps. Lives are gonna change. Send that message. You're gonna change somebody's life. Rapport, reason, compliment. Great job. All right, eyes up here. Who sent a message? Yes, a few hands. Do that 4 more times before lunch and you can put your ballot in for the drawing, right? Do that 1 time a day, 3 times a day, 5 times a day. The sky's the limit. Do you feel good about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Great job, everybody. Thanks for participating. Now, when that chickenless person responds or anyone responds, they say, yes, I would be open to watching something. What do you send? Say, great. Here's the video I wanted to show you. Take a look. I have a question. She's signing up from your message? Congratulations!
Yes!
Oh, that's awesome. It's totally life-changing today. Yes. All right. So here's the video. This is what you sent now, okay? Here's the video I wanted to show you. Any of the one that I shared on the previous slide, or here down below. It's an ISA movie, your ISA movie, whatever you feel will resonate with them. Take a look. I'll check back in a day or 2 to see if you have any questions. Okay? Whenever I send that message, I make a note on my phone. I ask Siri to remind me at whatever time tomorrow to follow up with that person. Okay? And when that reminder goes off, this is what I circle back to. Angel, Whitmire, I saw you. Yay! Learned this from you. Hi, it's Promise. I'm circling back to you about the video. What'd you like most? Can you talk today? You'll either get a response about 20 minutes later because they watched the video and then they'll reply. Or they'll say they haven't watched it yet, or they will say, yes, I'll get on the phone, or maybe they won't reply at all, okay? If they don't reply at all, then set your reminder for the next day, and you can follow up again. Hi, I hope you're enjoying the video. It's about X number of minutes. If I reach out to you on Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, would that be enough time for you to watch the video? Do you feel, they took that out. Do you feel that that would be enough time for you to watch the video? Okay? And then also, in between here, at any time, your follow-up can be nothing related to Isagenix at all. You see a quote that inspires you, hey, I saw this, I thought of you. Or comment on their post in a nice way. I saw this article, it made me think of you. Your follow-up doesn't always have to be Isagenix, but I love the second one. I found that people are very responsive, so it's not like, have you watched it yet? Have you watched it? Have you watched it? You're expecting, I hope you're enjoying it. If I follow up, then will that be enough time? Okay? That feel good?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, when they respond and they're ready, well, that's gonna be the what to do segment that Emily gets to share with you next. But as we close out, I wanna review with you, because we covered a lot today, right? Yes, okay, so first of all, we talked about how to lower your attachment and raise your belief, right? We've learned a new mindset and a new skill set around sharing with ease and elegance. We've learned how to say and share in person and through messaging. We have a mantra for what to say in person. When in doubt, ask a question. We have a formula for writing messages. Rapport, reason, compliment, question. Now, there's something I learned early on from Susan Sly that I want to leave with you that changed my perspective on sharing with people. Susan Sly is a legacy millionaire in our company. She says the higher we set our goals, the more people who benefit. But when I first started with my other company, I shared yesterday I started with another company, I would force myself to talk with people. We called it warm chattering. And it was a challenge for me, but I did it with the mindset of this is really hard, but this is what it takes to be successful, so I'm gonna force myself to do it until I'm so successful that I don't have to do it anymore. But force requires counterforce, right?
Yes.
Like I'm the engineer, so you get a little bit of physics here, right? Force requires counterforce. A forced approach is going to naturally create resistance. So I was setting myself up for the nose without even realizing it, without changing anything, just pushing through. And when I first came into Isagenix, I came in with that mindset as well, until I heard Susan Sly on a podcast share something differently. She says there's a progression. At first, you're disciplined, you don't like it, you're not good at it, but you do it anyway out of discipline. Then, you start to get a little bit better. You still might not enjoy it, but you start to see results. And then it starts to maybe even get a little bit fun. You're good at it, and it becomes a habit. And then it becomes part of who you are. It's something that you love and enjoy, and then you get to teach and train others how to do it. And that was an aha moment for me. Because I realized it wasn't about doing the awkward things until I didn't have to do the awkward things anymore. It was about doing the awkward things until I wasn't awkward doing them anymore. It was about growing into the best version of myself who didn't make it feel weird, who didn't force it anymore, and who could share with ease and elegance and posture, and maybe even grow into the person who can be invited to train on the What to Say segment at this event. Thank you. You guys, if this is not your mindset and skill set yet, it can get there. Just continue to take action. Don't wait for it not to feel weird, but do expect it not to feel weird forever. Isagenix, we've got this. Let's do this. Let's share with ease and elegance so we can continue to transform lives. Thank you.
Yeah.
Impacted all of us at this event. She's also somebody, the first time I saw her in person was at that first IsaU event. She came with a chartered bus with her team. I thought, wow, it just such a vision for what's possible with this amazing vehicle. And over the years, I continue to be mentored by her from afar. I've seen her rise up not only in this company, but in the network marketing profession. She is an international speaker, admired by many. And I think what I especially love about her is that as her recognition increases, her heart to serve and help other people seems to grow even more intensely. She is what I would consider to be the epitome of a professional network marketer. Please get on your feet, help me welcome to the stage, 17-star platinum, 18-star crystal executive, Emily Favreau!